incredible guest here.
What's up, brother?
The definition of the Legacy Lounge is the stuff that he's putting together. He's a great community leader. His story is amazing.
All right, welcome back to the lounge. Man, we have a guest again, the master motivator, the coach, the keynote speaker, the guy so nice that we brought him back to the lounge twice.
Ooh.
Coach V in the house. Welcome back, big dog.
Man, Chris, Rene, thanks. The digs look awesome. I love the added touch. I might call my wife and text her and let her know I'm going to be here for a little bit.
Oh, man.
I seen all the winery folks come through here. Everybody coming through here. Way to level up, fellas. It looks great.
It's cool having you back, especially because you were episode 4. Now we're on 24, 25, 25. So you got to see the first place and the second place. A little bit different. Obviously, the first one was serviceable, but this is fun, right?
Oh, this is, hey, so your boy I got a show on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm at Lit Live now on Hollywood Boulevard, and that place is a studio. And this right here is right up that line. That's really all. But they don't allow a talking brother to bring alcohol in there. You know what I mean? Because I don't own the spot like that, right? I only work over there. No, but this is really Hollywood. And then to be right here in the 916 that you guys are servicing and bringing legacy stories to the community around here. Man, this is awesome. Great setup, fellas.
Oh, miss you, man. It's good to see you.
Seriously,
man. Good to see you. Wait a minute. Before we even has somebody changed their relationship status around here?
You know what? I'm still the same, so it must be him.
I'm still married.
Yes.
What you got going on? Also, I saw something on social media, a guy on bended knee. What's going on?
Let's go, man. Engaged now. You got to meet the two girls, too, because they played at your basketball camp.
I remember.
The Invictus basketball camp, bro. I remember walking into that thing. This is not going to sound good for me off the bat, but I walked in about 2 minutes late with the girls, and Coach V's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Cezanne, Refined Realty Legacy Lounge. What you got to say to everyone?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Just gonna put the microphone in my hand.
On the spot.
I was scared shitless.
Come on, man, you did great.
But yeah, man, the proposal happened in Mendocino. My good buddy drove 3 hours all the way from San Jose to capture all the photography. She was blown away, and we're engaged.
Oh, yeah.
Special time, man. I'm so happy for him. There's good stuff to come, and, you know, all as a good friend should do. You know, I'm just here to make this the best relationship ever any way I can chip in. So I'm proud for both of you guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Welcome to the dark side. Not because it's dark, but it's just for whatever reason, the light changes, and you need to fight for the light every day, baby.
There it is. I like that. Well, he's around a bunch of people who are happy as heck with the people that they're with.
Yeah,
so
man.
I know it's enticing, but Chris knows my favorite line every time I talk about his lady is "Don't fuck it up."
Yeah, man.
She's too good, man. So
how about all my boys tell me the same thing about Martha? Hey, bro, don't you mess that up. 'Cause
Exactly.
we'll be on her side.
Exactly.
And you guys have met Martha.
Yeah,
you
the
guys get
best.
why, man. She's gorgeous and just a woman of God.
Yeah.
She's a boss lady though too.
Yes.
She is a boss lady. But I think that is the number one main factor for a man's success. I mean, because every man and woman comes from a woman.
That's right.
Might be the most powerful entity known to man is a woman. But to have a woman that is right for you and that you'll compromise for, she will compromise for you, man, that is a major factor of my success coaching to guys that are not married. Man, because you look back at divorces, which there's more people in this room more into that than I am or knowledgeable. Man, you get hitched with the wrong person, and you want to talk about you are who you roll with. Man, congratulations to find a good one.
That's right.
We lost a good one on the street, single guys. He's gone.
That's great.
He's off the market. He off the streets.
He said we lost a good one, bro. How are your kids doing?
All the kids are good, man. Susan Mele had a breakout season in club volleyball,
Yep.
15s. She got pulled up. She was the shortest hitter in every tournament at 5'1.5", spiking straight down. And 15s. And for her to taste 16s, she got pulled up for the last tournament a week and a half ago in Long Beach. Did good. Junior's doing awesome. Had a breakout year in baseball. I mean, we've been through seasons, and I've been on coaching staffs where, in 16 games, he got one hit. He hit the ball a lot, but then, got out or just didn't swing. And he was averaging, 2 RBIs just about a game or every other game, which is a breakout for him. And now we're going into his first tackle football season. Both kids are doing track. So now I have a sophomore and a 7th grader starting the end of this month when Junior graduates from elementary school.
Congratulations on that. I heard, from what I understand, you're no longer the most famous volleyball dad around. I heard Steph Curry's just rolling around volleyball tournaments now.
It's so Steph and his wife are around because I think his daughter plays in 12 or 13s, one of those, right? But I mean, KG was in Long Beach.
That's crazy.
My daughter was like, "Look at that tall ass guy right there." I was like, and I just looked at him, went like that. He actually was. He was wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, "Yeah, that's KG." Who's KG? Kevin Garnett.
Man.
Yeah, NBA champion with the Celtics.
Legend.
Before Minnesota got back to the playoffs,
Yep.
he was the only reason why Minnesota was, and maybe not the only reason, but
I mean, Marbury was right there. I love them two
Yeah,
together,
that's right.
man.
That's right. I
them
forgot
together.
that.
Them two together.
But I think he made it further when Marbury was off that team. I think he made
Maybe.
it further with Sam Cassell.
Yeah, you might be right.
there must be 2 basketball guys in the lounge right now. There must be 2 basketball
How
guys.
ugly is Sam Cassell?
I haven't seen him in person, but the dude can talk smack and
He
light
can.
up 3-pointers
He
like
can.
it's nobody's business, boy.
Two-time
And now,
NBA.
I've seen him on the sideline this season as an NBA assistant, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. For what team? I think the Sixers.
It might
Can't
be,
remember.
but I can't remember.
Oh, man,
This
he's
is
a
what we
legend.
told you, Nate. This needs to be part of your job. When we're like talking about
The
stuff like
stat
this,
guy?
the stat guy. I forget what team.
We're working on
watch
that.
This, watch this.
We're-
No, this is gonna be official. Hey, Nate, pull up Sam Cassell and tell us what team he's assistant coach on.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
By the way,
man.
he coaches volleyball. Nate coaches
Oh,
volleyball.
yeah?
Yeah.
Nick. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, no, that's different. White girl club volleyball, Folsom. That's a different level now. It doesn't matter. You got athletic ability. You get so many touches. Certain parts of San Diego are like that.
Yeah.
Right. It's like there's club volleyball, and there's white rich girl club volleyball, and all them girls can ball.
Really? Yeah.
All man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man. And a lot of them are dual athletes. Most of volleyball players from our 3-year experience in club volleyball, they play basketball and volleyball.
Or soccer.
Some, but not as much as, like, you'll see
No,
the
basketball,
girls in the
volleyball go
gym
together.
all the time. If they're in the gym where the hoop is up, they're always doing layups and fallaways. And, from our experience with the crew that I'm at. But, yeah, man, let me shout out Coast Volleyball, San
Let's
Diego,
go.
my boy Jericho Toilolo. I mean, usually they're one of the top coasts down in San Diego. Is usually one of the top. Where do you coach at?
Here in Folsom,
Yeah, but what's the name of the club?
Aspire Volleyball Club.
Yeah, Aspire is pretty good.
Oh, man.
And they got how many levels? Every age group got a few levels.
We're up and coming too. I mean, I think we're going to be one of the top clubs in the Sacramento area.
Yeah.
But 11s to 18s.
And then there's usually a few groups in every age group, right? Because our club is so small. Shout out Delta Volleyball. Really helped my daughter go to the next level this year in Lodi. There's only one team per age group. And then so my daughter now, like, we're going to be trying out for she's going to turn 16 next March. She's going to try out for the 16s, 17s, and 18s. She's going to try out for every level.
Dang.
But the club we were at, Force Volleyball in Elk Grove, they have 3-4 levels.
Yeah.
They have 3 teams in each age group.
Wow.
So but does she play for Laguna too?
And then she's going to be a sophomore at Laguna Creek this year. Yes, sir.
Oh, so this is like a competitive team.
Yeah. So most of the A teams are the national level teams.
Got it,
They
okay.
do at least 2 to 3 flyaway games, right, Nate? Yeah.
Crazy. With all these sports, man, it could get crazy, man. With the, Hey, listen, man. Listen, it is rough. I'm leaving tomorrow. It starts a stretch of 9 weekends in a row being gone because of the older two. They overlap, you know. And I'm missing little man. He's going to Reno and playing. I'm missing that.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you, man. I need these interest rates to drop a little bit, man. I need that money to start rolling back in again because this travel stuff is crazy.
Yeah. It is no joke. I mean, Long Beach, just to add Long Beach, hotels alone, and we stay at nice hotels.
Yeah.
Tongan brother can stay anywhere. I'll stay at a Motel 6.
Yeah.
Nurse Martha, nah. Hotel Maya,
Yeah.
by Hilton, on the bay. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's 1,200. That's just for hotels.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not travel accommodations or flights or whatever. And then food. I mean, I'll eat whatever.
Yeah.
Nurse Martha, it's
Yeah.
a sit down meal. You
I'm
know,
with
so
you. I'm with you.
I kind of sound like Nurse Martha.
Yeah, you are. That's
and with
it.
your coffee, by the way, because he'll hit me up on
Yeah.
IG and be like, "Man, you're putting the wrong cream in your coffee, bro." Take
He's a
that
coffee snob for sure.
Yeah.
He is.
You know, I think he's a enthusiast.
He's
I'm
an
trying to
enthusiast.
save
Say,
you.
yes, I get that.
Because you know what I've
and
been-
that stuff is not good for you. Oh man, I
Hey.
gotta cut back.
You know what I've been seeing on Coach V's Instagram throughout the year is a lot of working out, a lot of weightlifting, getting back getting back to your summer body. And
Oh
all
my
I'm trying to
gosh.
tell you is that Coffee Mate ain't helping with that.
Oh, no question. There's at least 400 calories in 2 cups. You know what I mean? Because I don't actually drink cream with my coffee. Yeah, I have coffee with my cream.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. That's
you know what I
right.
mean? That's just real talk.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
no doubt.
Man, well, that's good stuff. It's glad to hear that the family's doing great. But, man, we wanted to bring you back in, man, because you've been doing so much, not only for the kids, but professionally leading big organizations, keynote speaking all over the place. And you're continuing to develop in your craft and everything like that. You definitely have some stuff coming up. You're trying to develop business in other countries, and you're trying to put on a big event here locally as well. I need you to touch on all kinds of stuff, man. So what's been happening since you came in last?
Yeah, so our first sold out golf tournament last year. So we had that go down. We met Chris, right? And we sold out partly because Rene and his whole crew came in, and it was the first time ever. That was our 9th annual golf tournament last year. And this year, you can only have a full field at 36.
Yep.
And we're at 39 foursomes right now, and confirming those today and throughout the day. Speaking all over the place still, but more picky because of the kids' schedule. But when folks pay you a high dollar amount for a full day seminar and they're like, hey, will you speak to a title and escrow company in Park City, Utah? If your check clears with all the zeros I see that you're offering, a Tongan brother will be there. So that's a blessing to be able to continue to elevate the price points and the value proposition that companies see me as. Coaching via Zoom with private one-on-one clients, and really now putting the capstone that becomes, I got the cornerstones of who I am and what I do as a business, both in speaking and what I do in terms of service for the community, but putting a capstone on it with a live event. And one that will be an annual event here in Elk Grove, California. 916, shout out to my city, Elk Grove. I just don't live there. That is my home. And so I'm going to bring all of the Fortune 1,000, 500, 100 companies. We'll get 500 plus folks at the, we're going to have it at District 56.
Oh yeah.
Friday, September 6th. The production will be done by Adam Coleman, and Adam does, and along with Teddy Labissiere, who they do Tony Robbins stuff and Brendan Burchard stuff. We happened to cross paths years ago, and he happens to be right here out of West Sac. And but not only that, one day professional development seminar, but it will be a 2-day. So it's an annual event that will happen on the first Friday of every September. But the following year in 25, it'll be a 2-day. I keep talking tournaments because that's all we do. It'll be a 2-day event. And then in 2025, we'll take Empowerment to Success is what the conference is called, to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.
And just got confirmed yesterday
Wow.
that the third conference of 2025, which those will only be one-dayers, will be in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Whoa.
So
Look
launching
at
that platform.
Incredible.
Yeah, launching that platform. Starting small and progressive. The folks that want to partner with me. It's always interesting where I've come from, where it was hard to get an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd for free, that people are now offering to promote my event, but they pay me to do it. That's very intriguing, right? Especially because I coach people that when you become what it is that you want, what you used to chase now starts chasing and is attracted to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's marketing and all that, and you need that. But then as a person, as you continue to walk in that in faith, to have those type of opportunities and people from other cities, because I want to go Salt Lake City after this, and then go Las Vegas, Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand.
Man.
So then, and those are multi-day events in the future, but right now they're going to start with one-day opportunities.
So the one day is going to be kicking off in Elk Grove. We're going to be at that event.
Correct.
Let's go.
Cannot wait for it. So personal growth. Are you going to be the only speaker there? Are there going to be other speakers? Tell us a little bit about it.
You know, there's a guy named Chris and Rene that I'm sure I got to get on the mic somehow when they come into the building. But
I'm scared of mics.
there's two that are confirmed. One is going to be a gal named Hola Motuapuaka. She's the only Tongan executive in the wine and spirits business.
Whoa.
And they just landed a huge deal, almost a year and a couple of months. Is they have the Status Wine Lounge inside of the Venetian Hotel.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to be speaking. And then the only other API Asian Pacific Islander, she's Filipina. Her name's Maria Hollinsworth. We used to do business when she was the VP for Dunkin' Donuts, and she would hire me to come do franchisee training and leadership training for her staff when she was with the Southwest Division of Dunkin' out of Boston. And she is now the president and the COO of El Pollo Loco.
Oh, wow.
And so they're actually buying tickets to come to the event. And I'm saying, hey, while you're going to be in the building, I'd love to get you on and just do a Q&A just like this. So those are the confirmed, and we're going to add Rene and figure out what his contract is and all that. You know, we'll do some negotiations.
I mean, he's got a book called Athletes Advantage in
right.
Business.
Oh,
You're
man.
telling me he can't speak a little bit on some of the inserts from the book?
Man, author means the authority of your subject matter, expert of your subject matter. That's
Preach.
what author is.
Let's go.
And so I would be remiss if I had Rene, who's the CEO of a major mortgage company here in the 916 and in NorCal, not to pass the mic and get some nuggets while he's there.
Amazing.
Oh, that's the invitation. Are you in?
Hey,
right now.
I told you I'm scared of mics, man. Man, I'll do anything to help you, man.
Yeah, so that's what we're jumping.
I love it, man. I love it. And that lead right into, for people who are listening, what type of person needs to be at this event? I mean, it's talking about power and success and things like that. Are this business people? Is it just anybody? Who is the person that's right to attend an event like yours?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because I think most people are so focused on making more money and leveling up, but they look outside of themselves versus within. So this is definitely a conference for folks that want to level up, that want to be around other people who have already leveled up, and to be an environment that's conducive to self-empowerment, inspiration, and be educated in proven frameworks that have helped manifest the change and success that companies have hired me for. And that not only do they have to be in attendance, but that they would be engaged and start to connect themselves to themselves. So this can bring value. So the type of people already coming are directors of national agencies, city, state, and also heads of state. So leaders, people that are entrepreneurs, they have their own mortgage companies, real estate firms, people coming from the franchisee business that I coach, Jack in the Box, Corner Bakery, Denny's, Popeyes, Dunkin' Donuts, El Pollo Loco, Raising Cane's, Chick-fil-A. I talked about Hola Motuapuaca. She's in the wine and spirits industry. So these are folks that are subject matter experts and amongst the most profitable and high performing in their industries. And it's not to say that you need to be like them, but that they're people that want to be the best that they can be.
I love
So my son didn't make Purple All-Stars for Laguna Youth Baseball, but he had the best season he's ever had for him. And so that's what the conference is, and those are the type of people that I'm actually picking up the phone, all of my clients and all of the people it is, and just going, hey, Rene, before I send this over to you, I want to, invite you personally, and then I would love for you to consider passing this around the office, and anybody who would love to come, I would love them to consider coming. So I'm doing a self-invitation to everybody out there on my list.
And
Send me the email, but if can you just share the date one more time?
Yep, Friday, September 6th. Aloha Friday, September 6th. We're going to be at District 56. All of the details can be found at coach-v.com.
Love it.
Yep.
Man, here's the thing. What you have many talents, but one of them is that you just use left and right now is bringing out the best in people. So the fact that you're putting this together in an effort to do exactly that on a mass scale and bring this around to different cities, it not only makes all the sense in the world, but I can't wait to get into that building and see it in person because I know what you preach, what you put together, how you get people out of their comfort zone and everything like that. But I know you have something special for us. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's going to be on. And some people call me a motivational speaker, which I can be. And I love getting paid a whole lot of money for speaking for 30 minutes, and they call it motivational speaking. Yeah, I'm there. I'll do it, right? But what are the frameworks that we could train and educate people that they would remember? Simple frameworks like knowledge plus accountability equals empowerment. 3 factors that will help anybody succeed in life, leadership, and business. What about culture building? I call it the Power 5. Mindset, emotional intelligence, performance, perspective, and effective communications. So we're not going to just be shooting from the hip, you know what I mean, and just talking loud and playing great music. All of that will be there like many other worldwide conferences, but really it will be the life-changing education that people will learn, grow their knowledge, which now raises their awareness so that they can prioritize what matters. Stop focusing on the shit that doesn't matter. Prioritize those things, put it down on a schedule, and be relentless at that schedule until they get the outcomes it is that they want.
Man, I'll put it that I'm the one most guilty of it. I get stuck working in my business and not on the business. I get stuck very often doing that, and that's why I'm so excited about it because to get in the room with people who share the same type of goals of wanting to be the best that they can be in their own right. It doesn't not there to be above or below the next person. I just want to be better at what I'm capable of. And it's a time to put aside to work on exactly that. So that's why I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
And I gotta this is an accountability thing because I mean this guy, his schedule, I'll bust his chops and he's like, bro, you wouldn't last a couple hours in my shoes, and then I get pissed off, and then I'll go home and I'll be like, I think he's probably right. He's got 3 kids, right? And he's got a company that he owns, and all these things, and that's great. And we need to get back to basics, which is being in a room full of people like that, because the byproduct of this event is the networking.
That's right.
That's just the byproduct of it. You know what I mean? Like when Coach V invites me to lunch, I'm gonna like clear my calendar for that because the time I went out to lunch with you, man, I was like, man, this dude is connected to people that I need to be around. So
and we needed to be around you
for sure.
Yeah. And when you talk about people, right, and this is something you've heard from me and you'll continue to hear from me from time immemorial, right? There's money in the transaction, but the wealth is in the relationships. So there's all type of sayings and quotes from many successful people that you are the average or the sum of the people that you're around. I put it more simple than that. the V formation in nature states that migratory birds that fly in a formation of a V of 24, 25 more migratory birds or more increases the range of the group by 71%. So when you talk about networking, there's money in the transaction, but the wealth is in the relationships. I'm going to pick up the phone and I will sell out a 500-person conference because I'm just that guy here locally. But that's why I didn't try to start my conference in Las Vegas. I'm starting it here at home where my network is very strong, where I'm going to self-invite. I called Chris. It was like, Chris, man, hey, man, before I send this, I want to invite you myself. Can I send you the link and a flyer to my event Friday, September 6th? I'm going to do that to about 375 people. 100 of those people have teams of 25 to 500 people. So we should be able to sell out. But when you talk about the power of networking, but networking and knowing people that will move on your behalf because you serve and bring value to them, that doesn't have any benefit to you. That's the key, though.
Yep.
Because most folks only want to do golf tournaments and hang with people because you could do something for me. Invite you to a lunch with some of my clients so that you can be a client. Nah, that's not how I roll. But Polynesians are like this all the time, right? We're just like, what you want from me? Nah, I think you're a nice guy, and I thought when you're hungry, you could come eat lunch. You know what I mean? Very basic, right? And when you keep it sincere and have a genuine care and concern for others, the magic in that is one that's really effective and efficient in terms of building an empire, is by first being able to serve other folks.
Amen.
Man, I love this. It's a little bit of a tangent, but when you coach so many people, so many high-level people, how do you work on your own? Do you have a coach? Who you have your mentors? Who levels you up, man?
Yeah. So online, Pastor T.D. Jakes has always been my guy. Since I've heard Pastor T.D. Jakes, he said something, and I actually listened to it for 4 hours and wrote every word down. And he was like, he is God. He stepped out on nothing and said, let there be something. And it became whatever he said because he's sovereign. He's absolutely in control. He's omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, not guessing, not wondering, not figuring. God already knows the end from the beginning, the answer before the question, and the sum total before you figure out the equation, because he is God. He looked upon the circle of the earth with all power in his hands, and nobody elected him and nobody can impeach him because he is God all by himself. So that type of rap, lyricist, vernacular, vocabulary usage, man, not only as a speaker do I actually study and write down what that guy says, but how he says it, and that words have power, let alone when it's connected to scripture. So he's one of those guys. The other guy is Brendan Bouchard. So at this conference, most conferences before going to a Brendan Bouchard conference. So I went during COVID. It was 2020 before they stopped everything. It was like March of 2020, San Diego. 4,000 people in the room. So COVID is rolling, but they haven't said COVID is COVID.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, everything got shut down.
Okay.
And he's like, look to the person next to you and smack them in the hands. And we're like, turned around, hug 5 other people. I mean, we spread COVID right in that conference, and we didn't even know it, right? But the thing that I got from Brendan is, you don't need to hold a live conference and pay other high-priced people to come to your conference, because then the budget goes out. You can't afford Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, and you can't afford all these guys that are at the top at the industry. He taught everything himself: mindset, emotional intelligence. He talked about finances, right? How to create a good business. He created these frameworks that, like, when you come, the PowerPoints I use, they look pretty nice. Like, my graphic design people are good. Brendan had it look like typewriter font. Mine has like descriptions, right? But I learned from him that, hey, here's my framework, and he walked around 4,000 people and just talked about it. And he is The number one speaker in the world for live events is Tony Robbins, bar none, hands down. The number one leadership speaker that is the most renowned speaker in the world is John Maxwell. And he's a
Love John.
John is money, right? But then the number one online coach in the world that kills it every day is Brendan Bouchard.
Wow.
So I want to be like that guy, but he's from like in the sticks in Montana.
Yeah.
And I'm a Tongan that was born in Tonga that grew up in Pomona that went to UC Davis with a football background, right? So those are the guys that I'm around. And then like you guys, man, I take notes when I'm around you guys. I'm at a golf tournament when I'm coaching my team, and everybody has a perspective and says things so differently that when it catches my heart and mind, I do pay attention and use that to level that up.
Man.
But let me also say two people, my mom and my dad.
Of course, yes.
My dad just passed this past Easter, on Easter Day. And that guy was so impactful. He ran an ad in the Penny Saver and did upholstery in the garage. That personal development and that story, he couldn't really speak English, right? And he wouldn't take a job if somebody was trying to take advantage of him because the price points wouldn't match.
Yeah.
They'll basically want it for free, right? And then my mother has had she still today has a huge impact. And then my wife, whether I want to listen to her or not, she's big on my personal development in terms of not coaching the kid. I used to coach my daughter the first year of club volleyball. The coaches hate that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, swing.
Yeah.
3 years later now, I just sit there and just watch. And if I have something to say, I'll say it to her after, but only the good things in wins. But in losses, I don't say shit till we get to the crib and I cool down. Right? So there's a lot of impactful people in my life, and I roll with some folks. I mean, you're the CEO of Golden Bay Mortgage Company. How can I not take away some stuff like that? You've been in the realty business in the Elk Grove area since your mom, and then now since you were a kid. How can I not use those valuable lessons if I hear something of value and not write it down and use it to better myself?
Always learning.
Always.
Always learning. That's what it is.
Talk to us about some of the sports camps you got coming up.
The kids.
Yep.
Phenomenal with the kids.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that.
Yeah, so 2-day football camp this Friday and Saturday over at Laguna Creek. Even if you didn't register and this airs soon enough, just stop on by. In fact, any Invictus Youth Foundation event, you could stop by and not register. You might not get a T-shirt because we might be out of T-shirts, but you could always stop by. And if somebody gives you grief, just look for Viliami Tafokta Tape Alava Tuiva. Holla at your boy. We'll make sure you get in. Right, but we got a soccer camp coming up in July. It's a 2-dayer. And then basketball camp is always during Thanksgiving week. And then we're going to have snowboard ski camp. We're going to do that on the run, and we'll schedule that come December, January, or February.
Now, are these camps, I should know this by now because I've been to 2 of them, are these generally for kids that don't have immediate access, or is it just like just touch a little bit about
that's a good question.
The kids that are coming to the camps?
Yeah, so when I first started, because I was an at-risk kid, the sole purpose of me starting this is because the coaches at the boys club picked the boy up in a station wagon. I had no money for tournaments. I didn't have any money at all to pay for anything, uniform or anything. And those people touched on my heart to give back because I did everything for free. Coaches picked me up and took me to the Mount Sac relays, the Long Beach relays. And I was a 6th grader, had no money, paid for me to do lunch and all that. So that's why I do it, is because somebody did it for me. And because sports is so big in my life, my whole perspective on everything is through the spectrum of sports. We started off the foundation in 2013 at Luther Burbank High School because I had some conversations with them. They're like, hey, would you come over and help us start a camp? I said, yeah, but we got to do more than just football. We need to teach life skills. We started teaching character, making good choices, be a champion, meaning excellence in everything that you do, right? So we started with at-risk youth. And then I started rocking with the law enforcement. They were really attracted to what it is that we were doing. And they kept on saying, any kid with free time is an at-risk kid.
Wow.
That totally, like, we're talking about personal development, right? So I heard that, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't just do this for kids. Because our first basketball camp was at right here in Oak Park with Coach Moss, and it was the Family Life Center right here in Oak Park.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Our first volleyball camp, 2013, 2014, Family Life Center.
Coach Doss.
Charles Doss.
Yep.
Yeah, that dude got us in there, and we figured out how to make up. It was like $100 for the whole day, something like that. It was crazy, multi-million-dollar facility in the middle of the hood. So we were doing that. We were having camps at Luther Burbank and South Sac. We didn't do anything at Grant at the time. Now we try to partner with a football camp at Grant High School at least once or every other year. We haven't done that since COVID though. But then when I started to rock with law enforcement, they're like, man, the most amount of crime by youth is done right after school and then when the parents get home from work. So that gap right there just changed I was like, you know what? We're going to make this free for any kid.
Yeah.
And then I started bringing it to Elk Grove because I was like, let's stop going to the hood. Let's bring the kids from the hood and their parents to a place Elk Grove isn't like Beverly Hills or anything, but it's definitely a great community, a great suburb.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? Good facilities at the Wackford. So then that whole switch. So we're usually looking, other than volleyball, for all skills, boy or girl. But in volleyball, man, like if you can't initially hit the ball, everything goes to shit. So now in volleyball, all my volleyball camps now are advanced. Now kids come that have never played. They're on court 3 with Coach V. That's what I call it. You're at court 3 with Coach V. And then we just do fundamental stuff, getting touches on the ball. If there's a little kid that shows up and the parents like, please, Coach V can. But a 5-year-old in volleyball, it just doesn't function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we blow up balloons. And then we just have them hit the balloons around. Because they could get under a balloon, because that's what you got to do in volleyball. You have to build the platform and get into a leverage position to be able to hit the first ball to the setter. But you could do that with a balloon when you're 5. So just by doing these type of things and getting out of my comfort zone, I've learned that soccer is an all skills, any skill level, because anybody can work with a soccer ball by themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody got to bring their own soccer ball. Basketball, same thing. Bring your own basketball, all skill levels.
Yep.
Volleyball, can't do it. Football drills, that's non-contact, you could do it. So who is it for? It's for any kid, right? But then in volleyball is the only one you have to be advanced. And if you're in the middle school level, you have to have at least 2 years or 2 seasons of club volleyball. If not, it won't look like volleyball. We won't even get the ball over the net, right? But you come watch our club and big time clubs, man, the action and the movement and getting set to block, the jumping, then going from where you are trying to block, now transitioning to offense, running back to get ready to spike, the communication, mind. It's just amazing because if you don't have that level of awareness at a volleyball camp, there's going to be 2 people looking at the ball, no one will call it, and the ball will hit the floor. And that sucks, right? So I've just learned by doing that some camps are for any skill level. So when we do snowboard ski, if you've never been on the snow on a ski or a snowboard, you're going to ski. And the kids are like, no, I want to snowboard. And they try it for an hour and they fall down the hill for the whole hour. Then I'm like, hey, man, look, if you just get on some skis, all you got to do is pizza. All you got to do is put your feet like this and you'll stop. On a snowboard, you got to get on an edge to stop. Getting off the lift with a snowboard and you've never done, you're going to fall if you have skis.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at least when you do get on with skis, if you just pizza. So now there's certain parameters by learning, by doing, that I'm like, kids are like, no, I'm 7 years old. I want to snowboard. Nah, I'm going to be hanging around with you all day for 2 days, watching you just freaking tumble down the fucking hill.
All you
Okay?
gotta- all
I'm gonna
you
put
gotta
on
do-
skis.
All you gotta do is pizza.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Now, it's harder for the more intermediate levels because now you got a snowboard on each foot. So the
Yeah.
steeper it gets, now you can't just pizza and stop when it's super steep.
Yeah.
You got to actually get on your edges and go parallel noodle, right? And this is just learning this by learning myself. While I was teaching kids how to snowboard, was only my 3rd season, and I was still struggling to get off the lift. When you get on the hill to get off the lift, I was still falling, but I was teaching junior, all the other kids. So those are the things like we're not gonna invite somebody to snowboard camp that has never done a winter sport.
Can you snowboard, Chris?
So you know
That
what?
was a no. Yeah. You bored? I'm just based on his answer. I just asked him. I had no clue if he could.
I snowboarded maybe 5, 10 times total, but the falls that I took just weren't enough for me. I was the guy that had a hard time getting off the lift.
Yep.
And I just don't enjoy winter sports. Now, wakeboarding, I can wakeboard.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm surprised you could do one, not the other. That was purely just asking. I had no clue if he has ever been up there or not.
Rene's just, always taking jabs at me because he's.
I literally didn't know. That was an honest question right there.
That's true. I'm just an emotional man, Coach V.
No, I am too, man. I am too. But snowboarding is tough. And then, like you said, you think that it'll translate, right? Because people are like, well, if you could ride if you could ride a skateboard, you could ride a snowboard.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
If you can ride a skateboard, you could surf. Me and my kids surf too. Surfing is like, it looks great and all that, but there's no lift to get you back out there.
Yeah, I'll say this. I've done all three, and there's not even a question what the hardest one of the three is.
Surfing is like jumping on a freaking styrofoam.
Well, you're dealing with nature at a different level, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the snow's not moving. The
That's right.
snow's just there.
Yeah.
The surf, man, like,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
gotta
God.
time it to catch it.
And by the way, I went surfing for the first time in Costa Rica, and this was like a day after like drinking.
Oh boy.
So I was probably slightly hungover. Oh my word! I mean, the cardio involved with surfing is next
That's what
level.
I'm saying. Just paddling back out
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
after you just got tumbled, right?
Yeah.
And it's just being on a surfboard makes you more aware of where your body weight and where your eyes are looking than any other sport. Because as soon in surfing, when you're catching a wave and you're a beginner, as soon as your eyes go down and your head go down, you're coming off the board. Because you need to stand tall, shoulders up, and you need to be looking at the horizon out. If not, you're going to tip over.
Yep.
Because the law of balance is almost the same, but greatly different on a snowboard. Because if it's flat, you can basically go flat. But in the water, man, if you're tipping at all, and I had a surfer, a surf coach, and Susan Mellick got up on the first try and went 100 yards.
Oh my goodness.
On the first try, athlete, right? And then Junior took 3 times. 50 minutes into it, I haven't caught my first wave, and I had a coach behind me going, "Go!"
Man.
And it was still tough. Yeah,
And that's why these camps are amazing. It's fun. It's great to learn all of this stuff young, Like, I wish I would have, So same thing with golf. Like, when you learn young, it's just way different, My first time snowboarding was after I was done at Sac State playing, because winter season is the middle of season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just never went. So when I was done playing, I went up there, and my boys could all snowboard and everything like that. I was on the bunny slope. I fell on my face a bunch of times. It's like, all right, man, let's just go up and let's try it. These fools took me to Black Diamond. It
Oh
took
my
me
Oh my gosh, you almost feel like you're gonna die.
It took me 4 hours to get down the hill. All it was getting up for 2 seconds and falling again.
Yeah.
The whole way down.
Just because you were scared?
And no, because I couldn't stay up.
Yeah, and you can't stop.
It's the reason why you're my best friend and not Adam and Matt Casares is because of that trip. You know what I'm saying? F those dudes, man.
Yeah, an early introduction, and that's why I love. So we usually go. So as my kids have gotten older, I've increased the youngest age. So
Yeah.
when we first started, you could come to football camp 4 to 12, and as Junior got older, now we're at like 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Right, our football camp is because when you're younger, I tell everybody, hey, look, if your kid is 5 and they're coming to the 8-year-old to 12 camp, if they don't listen, you got to hold their hand and go
Yeah.
around with them on the drills because they won't listen. But I also know this. Ken Griffey Jr. is Ken Griffey Jr. because of early introduction
Yep.
for who Ken Griffey was.
Yep.
Tiger Woods is Tiger Woods, not just because of the physical talent and the golf awareness it is that he have, but because of early introduction. So early introduction into anything is huge. It's just a lot more natural in terms of things aligning for people in athletics. But then you ask a kid, like, how many languages can a kid learn? as many as we're willing to teach.
Yep.
So when you become an adult, now early introduction, there's so many biases that we have, and then we overthink it because logically we don't have time to learn 5 languages. But in business, if you're an ultra entrepreneur and you're good, every language added to your repertoire is an extra $1 million in net profits in terms of what it is that you make from the market. But we're just like, why would I learn Japanese? Unless I have to. Why would I learn Spanish? And people are like, are you taking the conference to Tonga? No. I'm taking my conference to any other language speaking place would be Mexico, because Mexicans freaking work.
Yep.
They figure things out. They'll turn grass cutting into an entrepreneurial empire, right? Housekeeping, whatever it is that they get into, and then they'll dive off into that. Restaurants and all that. Tongans are more faith-based people, right? And I think they're getting to an entrepreneurial space, and there's more millionaires in the Tongan community. But it's just like, my own people, we'll see.
Yeah.
But like in my conference, the first thing in year 2 for having the conference in Elk Grove will be a Spanish translator.
That's awesome.
Right? That's going to be the first folks, because that's the first folks. And I'm Asian Pacific Islander, but I'm going to go there first before I go to any other dialect.
Oh, man.
Because those suckers grind. They work for me at the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, that entrepreneurial spirit is what I want to tap into. And English speaking for personal development is a highly volatile, highly competitive space. The market share is minimum to any, right? But then when you go Tongan, Samoan, Polynesian, and then islanders in other countries, it's a wide open blue ocean market that I want to tap into.
Wow. Now that's amazing. That'll lead right into it. I know you're trying to reach people, bring the best out of them all over the place. Where are some places that you want to go outside of this country and speak?
Fiji. One, the airplanes look really nice from the outside. Because shout out to my boy Junior, because every time it's his birthday, his last 2 birthdays was LAX, watching airplanes land.
I love
right?
this.
Yeah.
Right next to In-N-Out when you land it. And then we actually got a rooftop hotel that overlooks the runway just for Junior's birthday.
That's cool.
So
man.
I love Fiji Airlines and how it looks, and I have clients from Fiji. And there's a real entrepreneurial spirit in Fiji that I really love. So I'd love to check that out. But like we were discussing prior, I'm going to Croatia. And you know me, I'm going to figure out, and I've already figured out where I could speak for free. So I'm going to start that up too.
Amazing.
So and because New Zealand and Australia, they already speak English. Like, why wouldn't I go down there? Though the culture is vastly different than the Western world. But I would love to figure that out. Fiji, baby.
I'm going to send you some of my itinerary because I'm just going to be super curious if you end up hitting those spots when you go to Croatia. But we went to this spot called Plitvice Lakes, and it is out of a freaking movie. It's like in the forest, in the jungle, and all of the water looks like sky blue water.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, they have a boardwalk there and everything.
Yep.
It's already on the itinerary.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's weird that like the best way I can describe Croatia to anyone, and I've now been to 17 countries. Yeah, I've been around, and I still want to keep on adding to the list. But
Yeah.
Croatia is like if you were to picture the best places, the best cities, the best oceans, the best forests in all of California, smacked combined into one country, it's Croatia. That's how it looks because we drove the entire country.
Yeah, that's what we're about to do.
So yeah, man, you're gonna have a blast. Can't wait to follow your IG during that time.
Yeah,
That's awesome,
It'd be
man.
good times. Oh, so there's cell service outside of America?
Of course.
All right. Let's do this.
Hey, that's a long flight out there. So will that be your longest flight?
How many hours is it from here to Germany?
So from San Francisco to Germany, if I had to guess, I want to say that's probably about 13 about 12 or 13 hours.
Hey, Nate, how long is the flight from San Francisco to
this
Germany?
dude
I thought
doesn't-
we were doing this now. I thought
No.
this was new.
We are, and I'm mad because I still didn't. Where was Sam Cassell, an assistant coach at?
Oh, he didn't even answer it.
Boston Celtics.
Oh,
So we're going to see a lot more of them
there
starting
we
tomorrow
sure
night.
are. We sure are.
Oh, real quick on that topic, real quick. Let's just talk 5-minute sports, man. 'Cause,
Let's do
man,
it.
I love. By the way, this is a compliment to you, and I'm sure you agree with this. But who was that old actor from back in the day, black man with the most incredible deep voice? I want to say his name was Earl Washington.
No, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. You have very James Earl Jones in your voice, and when you talk, you know, it's just, man, it just makes me. It kind of gives me goosebumps. It makes me feel. It
I
makes,
appreciate that.
Yeah, man, it
Oh,
just
man.
makes me feel. It's soothing. It's soothing. So it's a compliment to you.
Wow.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
So Celtics, who do you got? Celtics, Mavs.
Wait, did we get an answer to our? How long is the flight?
To Frankfurt is 10 hours and 45 minutes. Munich is 11 hours.
Okay.
Berlin is 12 hours and 40.
Hey, I love his new job title here, man.
This
like,
is
it's
great.
just
We got to
great,
give him a
man.
microphone though.
We-
That's
we,
the only thing.
we got to be able to
You gotta
share your
realize that
screen.
You need a microphone from here on out. That's the only way we're doing this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. That's right.
Okay. Now from Germany to Croatia, what is it? If I had to guess, probably 3 hours max.
I don't know. I've never been out there. You
Okay.
think it'll be more than from going from here to LA?
Bunch of white people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
he was-
about
he
here
thought he was
here to
shorter.
LA. Yeah. So because I've been to Australia, and so we flew into Sydney, and then went from Sydney to Queens to Brisbane, the Gold Coast. So that was 13, 14 hours.
So you're a football guy, obviously. That goes without saying. Man, I love talking football with you, and I'd love to just dive into this for real quick. These are just a couple key points that I took away from the NFL draft.
Okay.
Number one, what was your take on the Falcons drafting Pennis Jr.? Because my take was, I thought like the internet and ESPN, all these people just thought it was, what are they, the stupidest people in the world? And I was like, I thought it was a good draft.
I think that was more based on that they just signed. What's the name, man?
No, I get it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
But they also know that Kirk is coming off of a crazy injury, and that Pennis can, learn under him. So I don't know. What's your take on that, if you even have one?
So I think my perspective on this question will go back to when the 49ers played the Eagles. Brock got hurt, and so did the backup, and they didn't have a third quarterback. In today's NFL, including the college football ranks, you need more than one quarterback.
Jimmy got hurt, is what you meant to say. Oh, no. Brock. Oh, my bad.
In the playoff game, yep,
Yeah, got
NFC
it.
Championship game, Brock got hurt, right? And then if you look at Aaron Rodgers and not lasting 3 minutes in the opening night game, Monday Night Football for the Jets, I think that what they've done is really leveraged their position. I think for hardcore Atlanta fans that want to see a championship and has been a part of the greatest upset in the history of the Super Bowl with 25-point deficit, and the Patriots still beat the Atlanta Falcons in that game.
It's crazy.
That's the greatest letdown in Super Bowl history, is that they're impatient, and they think that because Kirk is I believe that Kirk Cousins is a Super Bowl quarterback, Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I really do. And so he has proven that if he has the tools, which using a first-round pick for a receiver or offensive lineman, for a traditional fan from the Falcons, I would see why they would be pissed off.
Yeah.
Got it.
But to have two Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks on the roster at once, that's pretty damn good. And it's showing that guys are getting hurt. Lamar got hurt last year. I mean, everybody's getting hurt. Joe Burrow's got hurt with Cincinnati. After I paid over $2,000 to go watch Cincinnati blow out the 49ers in a home game. You know what I mean? It's just like, so that's what, as a sofa expert football guy, that's all I am these days.
No, you're
That's
more than
my
that.
perspective.
You played. Second question. This pains me to say because this is Renee's team, but how special is Brock Bowers, man? If you haven't watched tape on Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, man, I think he's going to be one of the most lethal tight ends in the NFL.
Yeah, the tight end position is a very unique position in the game. And I think that both NFC teams, both the 49ers and also with Kittle, and then with Kelsey with Kansas City, It just shows how valuable that position is. And losing the best receiver in football. They've won back-to-back Super Bowl championships, but because Kelsey's the guy. It helps if your tight end has a superstar girlfriend, is what I've learned in Kansas City. But Bowers is what's called in football and in the NBA a generational talent. It is just going to be fun to watch that guy do his deal in what is the most competitive and talent-riddled conference in America, in the SEC, that guy treated grown men in the SEC like boys.
Seriously.
It will be no different in the NFL.
Man, it's gonna pain Chris. He won't even admit it, but he's gonna be cheering for the Raiders a little bit, just a little bit this
The
year.
Raiders?
Yeah. The Browns is on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I will say, just because the backstory is we went to Refuge in Montana, and I'm going for my third year this year in August. It's a fly fishing trip that is all set up. I found out about it through our church, and one of the guys out there, his name is Jeb. Remember Jeb? And Jeb's they're all kids from the South that moved to Montana to be fly fishing guides.
Oh, that's
so a lot of
awesome.
them are Georgia Bulldogs fans. And when I got there, they were like, "You are a Georgia Bulldog fan, and let us teach you about Brock Bowers." So, but this will be my third and my last is Slick Rick. Man, the Niners drafted one badass wide receiver. What's your thoughts on Ricky?
So first off, like most football fans, and when you draft a wide receiver that high and he's not black, I was like, that white boy right there is bad. Just hashtag real talk, right? Like that boy is bad. And what he did at Florida in the SEC again, and then what he's going to be able to bring to the table. It's so easy. The Niners almost look mortal without one of their two top receivers. That's just amazing how the NFL is like that.
Yep.
And then for them to now have three guys,
That's crazy.
that is just nuts. And because the quarterback is young, but yet he's seasoned, and he can and will win a Super Bowl. But you equip him with dudes like that, he's a timing quarterback. He's not a fire the ball down the field every single time guy. He's a West Coast time quarterback. And with receivers like that, with Debo coming out of the backfield, and you got Christian McCaffrey back there, you got Kittle, man, all they need is 3 seconds. And in 3 seconds, that thing can go from 10 yards, first downs to touchdowns, and that's quite a draft pick.
Will the Raiders win more or less than 6 games this year?
So I had the pleasure of playing with Antonio Pierce.
Damn.
I was coming out of Pomona, and I came back from Rocky Mountain College, and Antonio's out of Paramount, and he was a safety, and I was a safety. They moved Antonio to will linebacker. We played the same spot. And then Antonio ended up having a great career in the Pac-10 after winning the national championship at Mount San Antonio College. Had a great career there. Ended up as a free agent, I believe, to the Redskins. Became one of the most dominant linebackers in the game, and him and Eli brought a ship to the Giants. I do not believe in the Raider brand like AP does, but I believe in AP. And that guy, he's a guy like me. I'm not one that'll win the logic of why you should hire me, but I'm an Antonio Pierce of professional speaking.
Man,
It's
I
like,
love
I'm going to
that.
get this thing done, and that guy wins hearts and minds. He wins the players. So I'm really intrigued about the Raiders, and I'm cheering for the Raiders because one of ours is a head coach in the NFL.
Man, that's a great freaking
That's how you
answer.
know he's good when he didn't even answer my question.
No, he did. Oh, yeah, he didn't really answer
No,
the
he didn't
question.
answer. I said more.
They'll do more, and not because of the Raiders, not because of their talent player-wise, but because of the organizational success and resilience of Antonio Pierce.
There's
Do you think they're better or worse than last year? Because they won more than 6 last year.
Do they have a running back?
No, but what's the name didn't play much down the stretch, and
I think the Raiders will win 7 games this year. What did they win last year?
I believe they were 8-9.
So
Can we check that over there, Nate?
Yeah, Nate, can we pull up the this is great. We need
Yeah.
the microphone for
The
him.
AFC, I mean,
It's brutal AFC. Oh, I get that.
My big thing with the Raiders is this: the defense, I think, will be improved. If I don't know enough, but I know that Max Crosby is the best defensive lineman in the world.
8-9, right?
pretty good.
See, they're 8-9.
But you guys really don't have a quarterback. You really don't have a running back. You got Devontae Adams still?
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see how it works.
The running back was doing just fine last year, and he's legit. So now let's go switch to basketball real quick before we get wrapped up here. So the finals are here. I need
Yeah.
your predictions, man.
You know, I can't tell, but I do want to shout out because I'm all about change, transformation, leveling up. Remind me the guard for Dallas.
Kyrie
Kyrie or
or
Luka?
Luka?
Kyrie Irving is the most transformed figure that's sports or otherwise, celebrity in the world that has totally changed and has a bigger impact as a number 2 than he had with LeBron. The shit that used to come out of that dude's mouth
Serious.
and his inability to make anything great and make everything be mediocre, including his stop at Boston, including his stop with the Nets, is he deteriorated an organization that was all in on him, and he wouldn't even show up sometimes.
Yeah.
So I do know that I have become a Kyrie Irving fan, which at first I thought that dude was just full of shit. But to see that. Now, I think the key to winning, if Porzingis is playing, there is nobody this decade or the last decades before that are going to beat the Celtics. The only thing is both superstars at the biggest moments seem to disappear when the Celtics need them in the past.
Kind of. Tatum got injured. So
Yes.
So I'll
yes.
say we'll give a kind of. Yeah.
Yes, but that's just my take as, again, the number 1 football sofa coach in America, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's like and that Luka right now is the number 1 basketball player in the world right now.
So I want to get Renee's hot take because I love, getting to hear it from an ex-hooper.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So what's your take on, would there be any tweaks in what he just said for you?
No, I mean, you know who I'm rolling with. I'm rolling with Dallas, but that's picking with my heart because I'm cheering for Jason Kidd.
That's another transformational story.
Yeah.
Jason is the man. He's lit. Obviously went to his high school, but because I followed him so close, he's always been my favorite player ever. Like he's above MJ and everything. I followed his whole career from high school on, and he's that good. So I'm always cheering for him. So that's why I'm surprised they're in the finals, man. I would have never. I did not put any stock into them. I'd have lost money on betting how far they would get.
Nobody was thinking Dallas.
No.
Everybody was talking Joker.
Yeah.
Maybe Minnesota. Come on, real
Yeah.
talk.
Or I'd pick the Thunder to go further than the Mavs.
Yeah, I just thought the
Little
Thunder
young.
was a little young.
Too young, yeah.
in their
I wasn't.
maturation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I agree.
So no, I think you're right, man. I mean, Porzingis is in his health is an issue. However, sometimes when a team is rolling and you got 2 superstars like that, I didn't think they could get here. Here's the thing. Kansas City, I thought they would lose every freaking round until they won the whole thing last year as well. So I'm not going to act like I just know what's going to go on just because I had that inclination, and those 2 cards are freaking balling right now.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But they're big men too.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
young
you're
big
right.
men.
You're right.
So I just was going to say that.
You're right.
Lively, and then who's the other one? I'm drawing a blank, but
Pearson, the 3-point guy. What's his name?
Oh, Washington.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah.
That dude is hitting threes like crazy.
Like crazy. And by the way, like they're playing like they have nothing to lose. And that's when like teams get really scared. The 2 bigs on Dallas are playing really good. I just was going to say this. Porzingis is good. But to me, Porzingis' game is good when he's knocking down threes.
Threes, that's right. Spacing.
Yep.
creating
I
space.
actually think he's if he tries to take his game down low, I think the Mavs will team up. I really think Porzingis or not, this series is going to come down to 2 dogs versus 2 dogs. But then who has the deeper bench? And I think the Celtics have a deeper bench than the Mavs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I think overall the Celtics have better players than the Mavs. And then it's just going to be like, all right, Tatum and Brown versus Kyrie and Luka. We'll see how it goes down.
Yeah, I'm normally not worried about the bench in the finals. It comes
Well,
down.
That's a great perspective.
Just saying.
But
Yeah, I don't need deep. Matter of fact, they don't even need deep. In the finals, they put their dogs out there. There's usually 7, 8 that make any difference.
Oh, good point. I mean, Kyrie, I'm so glad you said about Kyrie. I agreed with every single thing you said. Kyrie's one of the most special basketball players of all time.
Skill wise,
He's I will say he is the greatest ball handler of all time.
I agree.
If there's 2 people I would think of, it'd probably be Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson. Those would probably be my 2. And I'd put Marbury above Iverson. Kyrie is special, and he's just knocking stuff. It's like he can't miss right now. So we'll see. Yeah. So we'll see. So.
I love it. And hey, obviously this is time 2, so we don't get all the questions that we did last time. But one of the questions that we didn't have in our 4th episode is one that we're adding in now. What does leaving a legacy mean to you?
Man, legacy to me is my kids. That's it. Not what I do. That people see my kids and they go, yeah, man, that's Coach V's kid. That's legacy.
And that's why we do it, man. All
love
the
you,
hard
bro.
work, man. Thank you for coming back, being the first 2-time in the lounge. We are happy to have your name on that, and thank you for blessing us with your time again, man.
Coach
Legacy
V.
Lounge, baby. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Love you, bro.
One love.